Good evening, everybody. What's up, y'all? It's Matt here with Tanks Lawn Maintenance. It is currently 8:43 p.m. Tuesday evening, June the 22nd, 2026, year of our Lord. Man, it's a beautiful day. Beautiful day. It's been a beautiful day all day. Been a hot one, though. Boy, it's been a hot day. Been humid, too, man. The heat has arrived, and it is here for a while. I know a lot of guys are having rain right now, man. We haven't had no rain this week, thank God. We had a lot of rain. We had a lot of rain last week, and it threw me off. I had to finish that up. Finished last week's route up yesterday, and all my customers were good with it, though. I told them that they were going to go back on the normal scheduled day, and they're all good with it. They said, I understand 100%. So yeah, I've had quotes. Did 4 quotes today, and got another one in the morning. And 2 of the quotes I have not heard back from yet. One of them, the lady told me that it wasn't gonna work, and then another one, he said he was gonna talk to his wife before he makes a decision to see if they could fit it in their budget. And he said he actually used to be a landscaper himself, so he likes the price. He's going to talk to his wife, see if they can fit it in the budget, and if they can, they're going to go with me. But the one that the lady just flat out told me no, said it wasn't going to work. Let me tell you the story behind that, man. She she flat out told me that she was going to pay me once a month, and which should have been a red flag, but I didn't think a whole lot about it, because I have a lot of customers that pay me once a month. They get serviced weekly or bi-weekly, but they pay me once a month. And then I didn't really think about that part until after the fact, after the conversation. But and then she told me that she was going to mail me a check on the last day of the month. The lady lives in my neighborhood, and I asked her, I said, mail me a check. I said, I live in the same neighborhood as you. I said, why you want to mail me a check? I said, that's wasting a stamp. And for one, and for two, I can just come around there and get it. And but also, if you're wanting to pay once a month and you're wanting to do it at the end of the month, I'm going to have to keep a credit card on file and ding your account after the last service every month. And she told me, she said, I can't do that. I don't have a credit card. I said, well, you don't have to have a credit card. I said, you can use a debit card. I said, it's just put your debit card information in. It's all encrypted. I won't see it. And after whenever it's supposed to be paid, I'll just go in and deduct the funds from your account. And she said, I don't have a debit card. And I said, so you telling me you have checks but you don't have a debit card? And she said, yeah, I have to write a check. I said, well, lady, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing. I said, but I don't know you well enough to do an entire month's worth of service and then depend on you to pay me at the end of the month. And I said, I'm not comfortable doing that. And she said, well, it's not going to work. I have to write a check. And I said, well, okay. So that was it. And then one of the customers, man, it's actually kind of a crazy yard, man. He got zoysia in the front and back, had his whole yard completely redone by his previous lawn care provider. And I say previous lawn care provider because it's obvious that this guy's not a landscaper, and I'm not trying to bash the guy or anything like that, but whew, man, the front yard is very, very, very unlevel, and put in Zeon zoysia, and with Zeon zoysia, man, you've got to have that stuff. I mean, you've got to have it pretty level, man, because you're going to see every imperfection in the dirt, in the ground, through the grass. That's just the way Zeon zoysia is. So front yard's jacked up, backyard's jacked up. They didn't even cover the entire backyard with sod. They just put random pieces of sod out here and there, I guess hoping that it would fill in. I don't know what their thoughts were, but the guy was pissed off about that, and he's also pissed off about the fact that they only show up whenever they get ready, he said it could be 3, 4, 5 weeks before they show up for the next service. He said he never knows when they're coming. And he's wanting somebody that's going to come consistently on a bi-weekly schedule. And the way his property, his backyard is, he's got like a creek bed that runs through the center of his backyard, and it makes like a U shape in his backyard, like a horseshoe shape. And it's going to be kind of a pain to mow if I get it, and which is the reason why I priced it the way I did. I priced it at $80. It's not a big yard, and there is zero bushes, but he wants it bagged, and it's going to be a pain to mow because you're going to have to go across all those rocks, and you're going to have to mow it in segments, you know what I mean? So I told him, the price for bi-weekly mowing would be $80. And the one good thing about it, if I was to pick it up, it would be year-round service. He told me he wants me to come around bi-weekly year-round. So that's the way it would go. But the other guy that I did a quote for, he never even responded to the email, and it was actually a normal price. It wasn't a high price, wasn't a low price. it was just a middle of the road quote is what it was. And he never did respond. I'm gonna give him till tomorrow morning, and I'm gonna reach out via text message. I responded to the email that he sent me through my my website, and if I don't hear something back by in the morning, I'm just gonna respond through a text message and let him reach out to him and say, hey, just wanted to touch base with you. I didn't know if you got the quote or not. I never heard nothing back from you. And just curious, guys, does that make me sound desperate if I do that, or do you guys do that too? I've done that in the past, but people told me that when I reach back out to a customer and touch base with them to make sure that they got the quote, follow up, so to speak, that I've had people tell me that makes me look desperate. I don't think that makes you look desperate at all. I think that just makes you I think it makes you aggressive. It lets people know that you're hungry, that you're serious about your business, and you don't like being kicked around, and that's going to happen. You're going to have people not respond to quotes. You're going to have people not respond to you when you reach out and follow up with them. So I'm just curious, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you think it makes you look desperate, or do you think it just means you're an aggressive businessman? I'm just curious. But anyway, so that's 4 quotes that I did. I do got one more that I'm gonna do in the morning. The lady, she actually started crying on the phone, laid out her entire life story, and which I wasn't asking all that, man. I just told her to text me her address, and sorry guys, I didn't mean to yawn in your faces like that, but I simply just told her to text me her name and her address, and I would come by there in the morning and asked her what she was needing done. And man, she gave me this whole life story, crying on the phone, this, that, and the other, and I'm like, man, and I'm not gonna get all into all that, what all she told me on YouTube. That's not something for YouTube. But yeah, man, but did 12 today, did 12 yesterday, got 10 on the list tomorrow, and I think we've got 10 or either 11 on the list Thursday. And this is the second day in a row that I haven't been able to take care of the Asian woman down the street from me, the cleanup at her house. Tried to do it yesterday, and texted her. I texted her Sunday night and let her know that we was gonna come out there when we got done with the list yesterday. And she texted me back early in the morning and let me know that she wanted to be there, that she wasn't gonna be home till around midnight last night, and she wanted to be there when we got there. That way she could do a walkthrough and all that good stuff. And also she wants to pay me cash, and she wants to be there when the job is complete. That way she can put cash in my hand, and which is fine. I have no problem with that at all. And but so I was fine. I told her, I said, no big deal. We'll come by there we'll get started on it tomorrow. I told her, I said, we'll get started on it today, this evening, whenever we get done with the route, and probably finish it up Wednesday. And which, you know, me and my oldest son, we probably could have got it done today, but just err on the side of caution. I didn't want her to be expecting it to be completely done today. But lo and behold, I get a text from my wife this morning. I have to take my son to ball practice. I knew he had practice, but I had to take him, and I didn't know that, so had to postpone that. But the good news is tomorrow we should be done by 3, and nobody has practice tomorrow. They're both going to be with me. We're knocking that job out tomorrow from start to finish. And Thursday, we're going to start on the big cleanup, the brush cutting job up in Appling, and hopefully get it done Thursday. If not, we'll be back first thing Friday morning to get it complete. And then I also got a brush cutting job on the list for tomorrow at a customer's house. I'm going to just use the steel attachment, the combi attachment, to take care of that. That's a smaller job, and it'll just be $150, you know. But Friday I'm knocking out a pretty good sized bush job and a pine straw job as well. And then Saturday, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it all done Saturday, but Saturday I'm going to start on the major pine straw job, get it going, get the ball rolling on that, you know what I mean? And that can be something that I can do. Is 52 rolls, not bales, but 52 rolls of pine straw. It's got to go out. And the woman actually wants me to put down some weed fabric that she bought in her front yard because she doesn't want grass and weeds coming through the pine straw, because of the simple fact she doesn't want me to spray glyphosate to kill anything. And which is irritating. And I told her, I said, I understand that you bought the weed fabric, I said, but that stuff is a nightmare to put out. It's a pain to put out. I'm not good at putting it out. It's very irritating. It's going to be extra to put that out. And she asked me how much extra. I told her it'd be an extra $50. And she acted like, I mean, this is a $900 job, guys. And she acted like an extra $50 was going to be an end of the world. And but whatever. And but I told her, I said, look, I said, you either going to let me do it the way that I said I was going to do it, or you're going to have to pay an extra $50 for me to put this stuff out. And she said, whatever, just go ahead and charge me the extra $50. And so I don't know why people are so adamant that they don't want their stuff, that they don't want their weeds that they don't want sprayed with glyphosate. They don't want the weeds, but at the same time, they don't want you to spray something that's going to kill it. I get the whole thing with glyphosate, the cancer-causing stuff. I get all that. But, man, you can't bitch about having weeds and then get mad at somebody when they talk about spraying stuff that kills weeds. You get what I'm saying? But whatever. But anyway, got that on the list. We're going to try to get that started Saturday. I'm hoping we can get to that point where we can get that started Saturday. And, yeah, man, once we get that started, get the ball rolling on that, at least get the front or the backyard done. That way, Monday and Tuesday next week, I can go and get some more pine straw and start on the other part of the yard and get that done, and then have everything done that I need to get done by July 4th, man. And but yeah, this is starting to become a nightmare, man. The whole being behind on landscaping stuff, and I really did bite off more than I can chew when I started advertising all these landscaping services before I had an employee to help me out. And it's tough, man, when you're a solo operator. I know my buddy Buster down at New Hope Cuts, man. He does it all the time. He's got more energy than the average bear. He does. He's guy's 53 years old, and he's working 105, 110 weekly and bi-weekly properties as a solo operator. Man, he is getting it. He is busy, and that's not all he's doing, man. He's putting in sod. He's doing rock jobs. He's doing mulch, pine straw, shrub jobs. He's doing brush cleanups. I mean, you name it, he's doing it. He's grinding up stumps. This guy, all I can do is tip my hat and applaud this guy, man, because I'm telling you, he is out there crushing it. He's getting it every single day. And I don't know where he gets the energy. And he's doing that in 6 days a week. He's not doing it in 7. And he's getting done at a fairly decent hour every day, too, man. It's crazy. But I just can't do it. I don't know how he does it, but I just can't do it, man. I really can't. But I've tried. I can't keep up with Buster, man. Salute to you, my friend, Buster. But yeah, it has become a nightmare, and I know I told y'all before, man. I'm not advertising no more landscaping services until after the growing season. You know, come December, January, and February, I'll do all that stuff. You know, I've got, let's see, I've got 3 side jobs in the books, signed, sealed, and delivered for December, January, and February. And not to mention the other stuff that I do too. I know I got one job. It's the guy's wanting, he's already measured it out and picked out the trees and everything. He's wanting 32 emerald green arborvitaes. And that's going to be an expensive job, man. That job by itself is probably going to be $10,000. I mean, you talking about 32 of these emerald green arborvitaes, the size that he wants, they're $180 a piece. And so I'm going to at least make double whatever the materials cost. You know what I mean? So at least, minimum. There is potential to make more than that, but we'll see. But yeah, guys, had a good day today. I had a good day yesterday. And we're going to have a good day tomorrow and Friday as well. Tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. And Saturday. But I will say this, man. The dream team. My 2 boys. You know, it's always been said by a lot of different people, when you hire employees, you're going to start having a lot more breakdowns. You're going to go through a lot more fuel. And you're going to waste a lot more money, and you're not going to be anywhere near as efficient as you are when you're by yourself. I've always heard that. Man, I want you to know, these 2 boys, one of them's adopted, one of them's my own flesh and blood. My boys, man, my dogs, my homies. The people that call me dad. The boys that I call son. They done tore up both of my blowers. My oldest boy, I don't know what it's called. It looks like a little air filter that hangs outside of the fuel tank on the Echo 9010 blower. It looks like an air filter. I don't know what it is. I'm not real sure. I'm assuming it's probably some sort of, it looks like a fuel filter. I'm sorry, not an air filter. But I'm assuming it's some sort of breather or something like that. But he ripped that off of the blower this morning. Last week, the molded plastic handle piece on top of the steel BR700, my youngest boy broke that off last week. My youngest boy yesterday mangled up my green guard on the side of my 36. He had he got a little, for starters, he shouldn't have been facing the discharge chute toward the fence when he's that close, but he got too close to the fence with the chute blocker open and mangled up my chute blocker, my green guard. And man, these boys had the audacity to ask me for a raise. I told them, I said, boys, let me tell you something. When I was your age, when my daddy took me to work, I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid. The only reason I'm paying you is because you came to me and told me you wanted to make your own money, and you wanted to have some spending money. You wanted to make some spending money for some things you want to buy. So I'm letting you work with me. I don't need your help. I don't. But at the same time, while you're here, in order to get a raise and get more money, you have to prove that you're worth the money that you're already making. I said, boys, you done tore up two $800 blowers. You done tore up a $450 green guard. And you done gone through, told them, both of them, I said, boys, you've done gone through about 18 gallons of mixed fuel since you started working with me 3 weeks ago. I said, now you're asking me for a raise? Like, man, you better get out of my face. Just curious, guys, what do y'all do in these situations, man? I'm not giving my boys a raise. I mean, they're making what they're going to make this year. Next year, I'll give them a raise if they decide to work with me. And look, my boys, they're doing good. They really are. And I know they're going to tear stuff up. I mean, I'm cutting up about being upset with them about all that good stuff. It does upset me, you know. I don't like none of my stuff getting torn up, especially when I've had a lot of this stuff for 4 or 5 years now and I ain't never torn any of it up. But and I damn sure as hell don't know where 18 gallons of mixed fuel went. I don't understand how you can use that much in 3 weeks. I really don't. But I'm having to go to the store and get I'm having to go to the store and get 6 gallons of mixed fuel, a minimum of 6 gallons of mixed fuel every Monday morning. I don't know how that's happening. But regardless of the fact, man, you can't give up on your kids. You can't. As frustrating it is, you know, it's part of having boys. You know, I'm sure my dad, when I was a boy, there was times he just wanted to put his fingers around my neck and squeeze them as hard as he could. But you just can't do that, man. You gotta teach your kids. They're not gonna know. They're not gonna go into anything knowing how it's done. And there is a learning curve. The main issue I'm faced with right now, man, it takes them 2 or 3 yards to realize, hey, I've done this before and I know what I'm doing. I don't need to ask Dad, or I know which direction I need to go. I've got one of them. The craziest thing to me is, you know, I always tell them, when you go into a front yard or a backyard, you always stay to the left of the yard. When you're doing your perimeter pass, you always stay to the left. Start, go make a left turn at first, and go around the yard. That way you're blowing everything into the turf, and then you can start your stripes. Well, one of them's got a bad habit of he's not even doing a pass around the yard. He's just going straight into his stripes and missing half of the stuff that that he's supposed to be cutting, and then leaving me a gap about 1.5 feet from the fence and the house. And I think I've got him broke from that, though, because he did that. He did that to me yesterday twice, and both times I made him go weed eat the backyard. He left me about 1.5 foot gap between where he started his stripes and the fence. And I weed eated the front yard and told him, I said, go weed eat the backyard. I'm not weed eating that. I said, you got to do better than that. And then you know, the missing the stuff and things like that. Anytime they miss something, I make them go back and fix it. I'm not gonna fix it for them. I know a lot of people would say, man, you're wasting time, just fix it. No, I'm not doing that, man, because then you're not gonna learn. You got to fix it. So but you know, another thing, man, you've got to have tools. I mean, if you're tearing up the tools that you need to work with, you're not gonna be able to make any money. And that goes right along with what Ray talks about a lot. It's not about just making a certain amount of money. You've got to be able to keep some of that money as well. And if you're going out buying new blowers, new trimmers once a month, stuff like that, man, that's bad business. It really is. And you're not going to make a profit like that. So, and that's what I had to explain to them, man. Like, look, yeah, we're making a certain amount of money every day. But what you don't understand is one of those blowers almost cost what we make in a day. We pretty much just work the whole day for free if you tear something like that up. Or a weed eater, for instance. You tear up a weed eater, that's a half a day's pay. And then I'll ask them, like, how long would you, if I was to make you guys replace this stuff, how many weeks would it take you, or how many days would it take you to earn enough money to replace it? And then they're like, oh man, I didn't think about that. And I'm like, yeah, what we make, everything comes out of that. I've got to pay myself, I've got to pay you guys, and the equipment maintenance, and also new equipment purchases comes out of that. I don't just pull that out of my pocket. That comes out of the business. That comes out of the proceeds. And they're learning multiple things about the business. I know I'm getting long-winded here and going on a rabbit trail, man, but just curious, what do you guys do, man? Am I doing the right thing by explaining this to them? Or is there a better way to get my point across to them, man? Because you can't keep tearing up all my equipment. And also the exhaust cover for one of my Echo trimmers, it's hanging off now. And I make them use that trimmer now since they broke the cover. And that way they can get their forearm burnt when they're weed eating, and I don't. I let them think about it every time they feel that burn. But just curious, guys, what do you do in these situations? I mean, gone through some money with them boys, I really have. And I've had an employee before, and there is more. A lot of people don't realize it, but there is more to it than just the amount of money that you're paying them, the amount of money you're paying the insurance company, things like that. There's more that goes into it than just that. You're also going to have more breakdowns. You're going to use more fuel. You're going to go through more stream, more blades, different things, because of the simple fact that it's not their money and it's not their stuff. They don't worry about it as much as you do. And so that's the way that works. But at the same time, when you're talking about two teenage boys, it's like all that stuff is magnified. So just curious, your thoughts on it. What do you guys do in those situations? You can't fire your kids. You can't give up on them. As a dad, you've got to teach them. You got to use every moment as a teaching opportunity. Every mistake, whether they get mad at you or not, you're not there to be their friend. You're there to be their dad and their boss. The business has to succeed. If the business doesn't succeed, then what are we doing it for? Simple as that. But again, guys, I know I went through a lot there. That was a lot to unpack right there at the very end. I'm sorry about that. Got long-winded and went to rambling there for a minute. But guys, I'm sorry. I keep yawning in your faces, man. It's rude. But I do want to put this out there, man. There's a YouTube channel out there. It's called the Stay Relentless Podcast with Ben. It's a guy named Ben. He's a veteran. He gets into his life story. He's not ashamed to put anything out there. He tells it like it is. He's real, and he's very factual, and he's very honest. And so if you would, if you see this video, if you're one of my subscribers or you're watching this video or whatever, go check his channel out. It's the Stay Relentless Podcast with Ben. Check him out, man. He puts out some nuggets every now and then, and he's a good dude, man. I've never talked to him personally, but in his videos, and he also gets in the comments on one of the lives that I watch all the time, and he just seems like a real good, down-to-earth dude, man. And he goes through the same. He probably goes through a little more than what the rest of us do as civilians, seeing as how he's a veteran, and most likely he's probably seen a lot more and dealt with a lot more. But he talks about the daily struggles of life, man, and he puts stuff out about the same stuff that we all go through. It's just that he's the only one honest enough to admit it on social media. So shout out to you, Ben, if you see this video. The rest of you guys, man, go check his video out, his videos. And also, man, y'all go check out Lee Irvin over at Irvin's Lawn Care. He does a live podcast every single Sunday night at it's 7 o'clock Central timing, 7 p.m. Central timing. If you're on the East Coast, It's 8 o'clock. But he has a different person on there every weekend, and this past weekend he had Buster Davis on, my buddy Buster down at New Hope Cuts. Man, I'm gonna tell you, Buster's a smart guy. He really is, and he's got a lot of knowledge. He's very logical, and he's a fast thinker. He's a very fast thinker. He's not somebody that's gonna have to sit there and think for a second or two. When you ask him a question, he'll be able to come straight off of the hip, and it's gonna be a good answer. So that's speaking of my buddy Buster. But Lee, he's a very knowledgeable individual too, man. He's been doing this kind of work for a long time now. So go check his channel out, and also, man, while you're at it, check out DLT Lawn Care. Check out Shane up in Ohio. Check out Chad over at Green Acres Lawn Care, and check out Ray over at Ray's Landscape, Ray's Lawn and Landscape. These guys are good guys, man, and they're putting out good stuff, and they've all been doing it for a long time, and you can take their word for it. And also Randall over at Elite Lawn Care, Elite Landscaping. I forgot the name of his channel. I think it's Elite Lawn and Landscapes and Life Stories. I could be wrong on that. If you see this, Randall, I'm sorry, buddy. But by the way, Randall, if you do see this, drop the name of your channel down in the comments. That way people can go check you out. But man, that guy, some of the property he's got, man, you talking about some absolutely gorgeous properties. And he does phenomenal work, man. He really does. From his mulch to the stripes he's putting on that cool season grass up there, to the bush trimmings that he does. The guy's good at what he does. You have professionals, and then you have artists. Randall is an artist. Go check him out, guys. But hey, look, I'm gonna hop off here. Y'all drop me a comment down in the box below. Again, guys, not really much to talk about this evening. Just wanted to tell you what happened today with my boys tearing up all my stuff. Sorry about me getting long-winded there, but I am curious, guys. What do you do in those situations when you're trying to train your kids on the job, and they start tearing up all your stuff and this, that, and the other, man? What do you do in those situations? You can't give up on your kids. I know that, but whew, man, can't beat them with a belt either, man. This ain't the 80s and 90s. You can't do that no more without getting in trouble. So I probably shouldn't have even said that on here, man. But anyways, hey, look, I got to get off here, man. I need to get some coffee in my system before I pass out. And I'll catch y'all on the next video, man. Y'all stay cool, stay dry out there, be blessed. And hey, man, look, to the next video, y'all keep cutting that grass and keep making that money. I'll let y'all. Bye.